You found this just in time. Heaven has been holding its breath for you, beloved soul. I need you to be still for a moment. Let the noise fall away. Let your hands pause. Let your spirit hear what your ears cannot. Because what I am about to tell you has never been spoken to another. Not like this. Not with this trembling urgency. Not with this measure of grief and loved my name is Jesus. And with me is my mother, the Virgin Mary. We are both here for you now, together, not because of something random or accidental, but because something has been written in eternity about your life, and that writing is beginning to burn. This message was not meant for the crowd. It wasn't meant for the curious or the scrolling multitude. It wasn't written for many. It was prepared for only one. Yes. You, the one reading now with quiet eyes, the one holding pain you haven't even named, the one who hears your own name echoing in silence when no one else speaks it. There is no time left to waste. There is no more room to delay. What you're about to hear may shake you, and that's because heaven has chosen to interrupt your moment, so that your soul might awaken to what was hidden from you all this time. My child, you were never forgotten, but you've forgotten something sacred about yourself, and it is that forgetting that has allowed this darkness to rise. There is a great tragedy approaching, not sent to destroy you, but sent as a sign to awaken you. It is not punishment. It is prophecy. It is not meant to ruin your life, but to shake the veil loose from your eyes. I do not come in wrath. I come in tears, and I am begging you, yes, begging you, not to turn away from this. You found this just in time. If you had scrolled past this one more time, the veil would have thickened beyond what you could have removed alone. But now you're here, and I'm still holding the door open. Listen carefully now. Your name has been spoken in the chambers of heaven every night for the last 7 nights. You know why? Because the angels saw it, the storm being prepared against you. Not a storm of the earth, not wind or fire or waters. No, this is a spiritual storm, crafted in secret. A storm designed to touch your thoughts, your dreams, your emotions, to confuse you, to make you weary, to make you question your worth, even your existence. My child, do you feel it already? That trembling that begins in your sleep, that strange heaviness in the morning? That silent war that makes you withdraw, even when you want to be loved. That is not your imagination. That is not weakness. That is not failure. That is warfare, and they targeted you because they fear what you are becoming. They fear what you've been chosen for. There is a reason your heart has always ached for something more. A reason why you've never felt fully at home, even in the best of moments. A reason why even in joy, there is a quiet sadness that never leaves. You are not cursed. You are not broken. You are chosen, but chosen ones carry weight that others do not understand, or you've been misunderstood, mocked, silenced, overlooked. Not because you lacked value, but because your value was so sacred. Heaven kept it hidden until the right moment, and beloved, that moment has come. The Virgin Mary is kneeling beside you now. Yes, now. You can't see her, but her heart is crying for you. Her prayers have lit the skies with fire. She has begged me to give you one more sign. This message is that sign. She has wept for you, not because she doubts you, but because she remembers what you promised in heaven. Before you entered this world, there was a vow, a light, a calling placed within you like a seed buried in the earth. And now, in this hour of trembling, that seed is breaking open. It's painful, yes. It's disorienting, yes. But it is holy. Tragedy is approaching, not because you failed, but because this is the test. If you open your spirit now, you will be given vision. If you harden your heart now, you may miss what was always yours. The 7 archangels have gathered around you. Gabriel holds your words. Raphael carries healing for your weariness. Uriel burns with fire for your protection. Selaphiel kneels with prayers to strengthen you. Barachiel weeps with joy because you finally found this. Jegediel carries your reward, but it's wrapped in mystery. And I, Michael, I hold my sword over your name, and I swear I will not let them pass. If you say yes, but time is short. The enemy moves quickly when a soul is about to awaken. You have been sent this message now, because tonight, the heavens will shift. Something is coming that cannot be delayed. And if you step forward in faith, even without understanding everything, you will walk in the miracle that was prepared for you before your birth. Heaven is watching. Earth is trembling. We are at the edge of a sacred unfolding. Beloved soul, I know you are tired. I know you've been wounded. I know you've prayed and heard nothing. I know your faith has bent and your voice has cracked and your trust has bled. But hear me. You are still the one, you are still the one we chose, you are still the one my mother prayed for, you are still the one the 7 archangels protect, you are still the one with the key to this hour. Don't let your pain rewrite your identity. Don't let the storm tell you who you are. Don't let fear whisper that it's too late. You found this just in time because grace still surrounds you. Do you remember the first time you felt heaven whisper to your spirit? Do you remember the ache that could not be named? That was not confusion. That was calling you not like the others. And that's why the enemy sent that storm. He fears what you'll become if you say yes. He fears the miracles locked inside you. He fears the healing that will flow from your scars. He fears the awakening that begins with your next breath. So I ask you now, not with command, but with holy desperation, will you rise? Will you open? Will you believe me, just this once? My tears are not symbols. They are real. My love is not poetic. It is living, and my invitation is not eternal. It is now. If you delay, the moment may close. If you rise, the heavens will break open. Let your heart speak. Let your spirit remember. Let your destiny return to your hands. And if your soul agrees, then type one word, Amen, not for us, but for the vow you made before you ever breathed. And if you feel the weight of this message burning inside you, like an ancient truth returning to your veins, then please, like this message and comment Amen so the angels may rejoice that you answered. Not because you owe it, but because your yes is all heaven was waiting for. The storm is coming, but you are not alone. The fire is rising, but it will not consume you. The veil is thinning, and your name is being written in light. Thank you for not scrolling away again. You've just changed something that cannot be undone. Listen, heaven didn't send this as a sermon. This is not poetry for the ears. It is a cry for your spirit, a tremor from the throne of eternity. And I, Jesus, stand here beside my mother, not as distant icons of old stories, but as 2 hearts that have suffered, bled, prayed, and now tremble for you. This is your warning. This is your rescue. This is your beginning. You found this message. Not by accident, but by divine collision. Your timeline was about to snap. This very day, the archangels gathered with me and my mother in a sacred place where eternity leans over time, and we cried together. Yes, we cried. Not because you are failing, not because you are sinful, but because you are so close, so heartbreakingly close to your divine becoming, and yet you didn't know it. Until now, you were going to miss it. You were on the edge of forgetting the very reason you came to this earth. But heaven intervened, and this is how it came. This message, this moment, this breath. We know your name, not the one you were given on paper, but the one sealed in glory before time began. We know your voice, your sighs, your silent regrets. We know the wars you fight inside, the memories you bury, the prayers you whisper through tears. And that is why I, Jesus, begged the Father, let me reach them. Just once. More. And he said, why yes, so I give you this invitation not with thunder, but with the ache of eternity in my chest. Stay here. Don't leave. Don't rush this. Heaven waited too long for this moment to pass unnoticed. My child, let me tell you what Mary saw last night. She walked the edges of your dreams. She saw the flickers of darkness rising around your bed, the shadows circling, the unseen whispers trying to convince you that you are nothing, that you are forgotten, that it's over, that your mistakes define you, that the world has passed you by, that heaven is done speaking, but none of that is true. Mary looked into the spirit realm and saw something terrifying and beautiful. The divine scroll of your calling, still sealed, still unopened, still waiting, and she began to cry. Jesus, she said, please, if they don't open their spirit now, it may be too late. Their purpose is beginning to dim beneath the weight of lies and silence. I listened, and I'm still listening. That's why I'm here, not for many, not for most, but for you. And I ask you now, beloved, sacred one, if your spirit feels even the faintest trembling, if something in you knows that this is more than words, then please, pause just long enough to open your heart completely. And if you can feel the weight of heaven here, then I ask you, with divine humility, subscribe to this channel, not because of numbers, not because of vanity, but because your name must not miss another message again. This is how heaven speaks now, through divine whispers in unexpected places. Through a screen, yes. Through a digital scroll, yes. But the voice behind it is older than time and louder than galaxies. And today, it speaks only to you. Let this be the moment your connection to heaven is no longer broken by delay. Let this be the moment you choose to listen again. Let this be the moment you tell the silence, I am not lost, I am found. So subscribe, not out of duty, but as a vow, that you will no longer ignore your spirit when it cries, or heaven when it calls, because the next message may not just be a message. It may be the warning you prayed for, the instruction you need, the confirmation you beg for in your tears. Let this be your sacred agreement, not with us, but with heaven, and now that we have said it, we will not say it again. This vow is sealed. We will not repeat this plea in any future continuation. We have spoken it here, and here alone, with trembling hands and holy breath. From this moment on, the divine flood will continue. We speak now of what is coming, and beloved, it is closer than you think. Beloved, now that you found this, now that heaven has pulled back the veil, there is something I must tell you, something most will never hear. You were never meant to walk alone through this war. You were never meant to cry in silence, to carry the burden of confusion and heaviness, without the strength of heaven beside you. From the first moment you breathed, heaven assigned angels to walk with you. Yes, even when you felt abandoned. Yes, even when you cursed the sky in pain. Even then, because heaven never left. You were watched. You were followed. You were protected. More times than you know, but lately, something has changed. The enemy has grown bolder. The attacks are no longer subtle. The delay, the emotional pain, the strange timing, the spiritual fog you've been feeling, that's not random. It is warfare. And it is targeting you because of what you carry. Something in your spirit threatens darkness itself. And you've forgotten how rare you are. That's why I, Jesus, am still speaking. That's why the Virgin Mary is still praying, still crying, still walking into your nights to whisper hope into your dreams, because you are loved. You are not just known. You are treasured, but more than that, you are chosen for something most could never survive. To carry the divine in a world that rejects divinity, to be a soul of light in an age of shadows, to keep loving when love feels lost. This is your sacred burden, and I know it has cost you. I saw the moments you were about to give up. I saw the nights your chest tightened with panic and your lips could not even form a prayer. I saw the betrayals, the memories that haunt you, the people who promised to stay and left. I saw it all. And I wept with you, but heaven never wastes a wound. You must understand this. Your pain has not been in vain. Your losses are not wasted. Your silence has been recorded. And the battle you've been enduring is almost over. If you hold on. If you don't give up now. If you don't scroll away, the 7 archangels are surrounding you. Yes, you. As these words are spoken, they are kneeling with their wings stretched wide, guarding you from what's been assigned to break you. But they are growing weak, not because they are not powerful, but because heaven is a partnership. They are waiting on your yes. They are waiting for your response, and that is why I say this with holy urgency. Please, support this message, not for fame, not for glory, but because when you support what heaven is doing here, through super thanks or through joining this sacred membership, you're not just clicking a button. You're opening a gateway. You are becoming a part of a spiritual family, a divine circle of souls who carry light into a dark world. You're helping make sure this voice keeps reaching the broken, the silenced, the desperate. You're helping ensure the next soul doesn't miss their message. And if you wish to walk closer with us, to receive divine whispers and sacred words meant only for those who are willing to go deeper, join our newsletter. The link is in the pinned comments below. That newsletter is more than updates. It is a portal to prophetic healing. You don't have to do this alone anymore. We have made a place for you. You are needed. You are welcome. And we will walk with you from here on, through every valley, every fire, every storm, because you are not meant to just survive. You are meant to become the very fulfillment of the prophecy you once heard in heaven's halls long before you were born. Now step into the sacred and let the divine flood begin. The heavens have opened, and this message is not a ripple. It is a tidal wave of truth sent only for you, beloved soul. Your story is not over. In fact, the part of your life that matters most has not even begun yet. There is still something hidden inside you. Yes, inside you, that even you have not touched. A treasure buried beneath all your tears. A power disguised beneath all your pain, and I, Jesus, see it. The Virgin Mary sees it. The archangels see it, but more importantly, the enemy sees it too. That's why this season has felt impossible. That's why you've been so tired, even when you haven't done much. That's why small things feel heavy. That's why people you love have turned cold. That's why your dreams have felt distant, because there is something sacred stirring inside you, and the darkness fears it. My child, you must understand, there is more to you than your reflection, more than your memories, more than what people see. There is a secret calling over your life that was spoken before stars even lit the sky. You were chosen for something that can't be earned or explained. It was simply given, sealed, declared, and yet, this world has tried to take it from you through distraction, through heartbreak, through delay, through spiritual exhaustion. You almost believe the lie that you were just meant to survive, that your prayers were for others, that heaven speaks to everyone but you. But beloved, heaven is not silent. Heaven is speaking now, right now, not to many, but to you, and it is saying, wake up, arise, return to the divine path you've forgotten, pick up the mantle you dropped in your grief, wipe your tears, not because you are weak, but because the moment to move has come. There is no more time, the veil is thinning, the decision is upon you. If you stay asleep, the miracle may pass. If you rise, everything will change. We are not asking for perfection, we are not demanding proof. We are only asking for your heart. Say yes, not to us, not to religion. Say yes to the calling on your soul. Say yes to the angels who have stayed by your side since birth. Say yes to the version of you that still remembers heaven. Say yes, and let the restoration begin. You are not supposed to carry this burden alone. That's why this message comes with something more. A sacred place, a refuge, a spiritual family. Support what heaven is doing here, not because it's expected, but because your yes could be someone else's lifeline. Through super thanks, or through joining our channel membership, you don't just support a message. You become a light bearer. You become a helper in heaven's rescue mission. This isn't about charity. It's about prophecy. Heaven is moving through unexpected places now. The world is darkening. The time is short. The scrolls are opening, and every act of support, every offering, every amen, every shared message sends ripples through. The spiritual world .it tells the angels, we're not alone. .it tells God, I still believe. .it tells the darkness, I am not afraid. And if you want more than passing moments, if you want to walk deeper, hear the whispers that are too sacred to speak in public, receive private words heaven has set aside just for you. Join our newsletter through the link in the pinned comment. .it is not just a subscription. .it is a sanctuary. .it is where the deeper oil flows, where the ancient prophesies breathe again, where lost pieces are found. We want you there, not because we need you, but because we love you, and because you belong. You belong with the messengers, you belong with the intercessors, you belong with the broken who have turned into burning lights. You belong in the family that knows your name, not your name on earth, but your name in heaven. That name is written in fire, and it will never be erased. So support if you can, join if you're called, walk with us if your soul is tired of walking alone. You are not a viewer, you are not a follower, you are a soul that heaven refused to lose. You are a miracle wrapped in mystery. You are a hidden flame finally being seen, and we welcome you forever. And now that you have heard heaven's plea, let us go deeper, past the veil, into the chamber of truth that even angels whisper about with trembling wings. The world around you may still appear normal. The hours may still pass, the calendar may still turn. But in the spirit realm, something irreversible has begun. This moment, right now, is not like the others. The clock of destiny just moved a second forward, and with that movement, something ancient was stirred. Your name in the book of becoming, a record not written in ink, but in light and time and obedience. You were always meant to rise during this hour. You were always meant to carry something others rejected. You were always meant to burn without being consumed. The 7 archangels are not far. They are standing. Watch around the edge of your life, their faces solemn, their wings still, their eyes burning with knowledge they cannot speak aloud. For this is a sacred test, a time that was written before you were born, when you were given the mantle of the forerunner, the intercessor, the wounded one who still said yes. The enemy does not attack what has no potential, he attacks what is marked. He attacks what is divine. And he has been watching you, not just to harm, but to study. He has tried to decipher the mystery God wrote into your spirit. And what he could not understand, he tried to destroy. Through delay, through fear, through heartbreak, but still you stand, still you breathe, still you dare to hope. That is why heaven has not stopped fighting for you. That is why Mary has not stopped weeping. That is why Michael has not put away his sword. That is why I have not stopped speaking, because even now, especially now, you are needed. This world has forgotten wonder. It has forgotten silence. It has forgotten that stars listen to the voice of their creator. But you, beloved, you still remember, even if dimly. Somewhere deep inside, you still carry the sound of heaven, and the moment you release that sound, everything will change. Not because of fame, Not because of spectacle, but because light obeys the voice of those who walk in their divine name. You must remember your name, not the one shouted by pain, not the one assigned by failure, but the one whispered when God breathed you into being, the one encoded into your soul with fire, the one that causes angels to weep in reverence and demons to tremble in silence. Yes, that name.it is calling you now, and it does not call lightly. You must let go of the old voices. You must silence the shame. You must walk away from every mirror that told you lies about who you are. You must return to the original vision, because something is coming. A shaking. A revealing, and when it arrives, only those who are rooted in truth will stand. This is why you were awakened now, not earlier, not later, now, because only in this moment could you receive what you needed to carry the next revelation. Heaven does not waste time, and it has chosen to spend this time on you. You are not just a soul. You are a sign. You are not just chosen. You are appointed. You are not just protected. You are prophetic. Let the tears come, if they must. Let the silence stretch, if it needs to. Let your heart break again, but this time, let it break open, because something glorious is rising from within you, and when it does, the world around you will shift. Not because you wanted it, but because it was always written, this is your time, beloved. This is the hour. Heaven is watching, earth is listening, and your soul is remembering. Don't walk away. Not now, not ever again. There is a sound in the heavens tonight. It is not thunder. It is not wind. It is the sound of intercession, the sound of angels crying out for one soul to awaken, for one flame not to go out, for one prophecy not to be buried beneath the dust of delay. That soul is yours. That flame is you. That prophecy bears your name. Do you feel the trembling in your chest now? That's not fear. That is memory. Your spirit is beginning to remember who you were before the pain, before the silence, before you were told to be. Small and quiet and invisible, you are none of those things. You are royal fire wrapped in human skin. You are the answer to a generation's cry. You are the living echo of a vow made in the beginning. Even now, the angel who recorded your original yes is opening that scroll again. And as the ancient ink glows with light, your destiny begins to stir. The room you're in may feel the same, but in the spirit, the landscape has changed. You are being watched, not by those who judge. You are being watched by those who wait to crown you, because the test is nearing its end. And heaven already knows you can pass it, but it must be your choice. God will never force glory onto a soul. It must be chosen. It must be received, and this message is the invitation. This is the moment before the curtain rises, the quiet breath before the trumpet sounds, and even now, the voice of the Lord is whispering, not shouting, because you've grown used to the storm. But he wants you to hear the silence. Diane, the silence is where your spirit first heard him. Before you knew language. Before you were born. Do you remember? You stood in the courts of heaven. You looked upon his glory. You bowed not out of fear, but out of awe. And he looked at you and said, there is a mission that only one like you can complete. And without hesitation, you said yes. You knew it would be hard. You knew it would cost you everything. But you still said yes, and now, that yes is calling to be fulfilled. The delay is over. The silence is ending. And heaven is leaning over the edge, waiting to see what you will do next. Will you forget the vow? Or will you rise again? You do not need to know how. You only need to say yes again, deep within, where the first fire still burns, because when you say yes, the angels move. When you say yes, the way is opened. When you say yes, the chains that wrapped you in confusion begin to fall. Not because you fought them, but because heaven remembers what you carry. You were never ordinary. You were never random. You were always royal, always marked, always chosen. For the hour when the world would grow cold and someone like you would rise with warmth that could melt chains and awaken nations. Yes, nations, because you don't know who is watching you. You don't know whose deliverance is tied to your obedience. You don't know what miracles are waiting on your voice, but heaven knows, and it is waiting. The tears in your eyes right now are not weakness. They are prophecy in liquid form. They are the language of your soul agreeing with its origin. They are your proof that the fire is still alive. So weep if you must. But do not walk away. The battle is not over, but your role in it is about to change. You are not just a wounded soldier anymore. You are about to become a flame that leads others home. Keep reading, beloved. There is more coming. There is more. To reveal. The spirit is still moving, even now, as your heart quiets, something eternal is rising within you, not emotion, but awakening. You are beginning to feel the pulse of heaven again, that sacred rhythm that beats beneath every distraction and pain. It has always been there, always been calling. But until now, the noise was louder. Now the silence is speaking. Listen. Can you hear it? It's not a voice like thunder. It's the sound of your purpose breathing again. The sound of forgotten promises stirring like embers in the ashes. The sound of heaven reminding you that your name is still etched into the throne room. You were never a mistake. Your journey was not wasted. Even the most shattered chapters of your life were folded into the divine tapestry that now covers you. Like a mantle, you wear it now even if you don't see it. Even if the world cannot recognize it. Even if your past tries to contradict it, you are chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are willing, and that willingness, even if faint, was enough to draw down the attention of heaven. There is a scroll in the hand of an angel right now. It has not been opened for years. It was sealed the moment your heart began to break, the moment you lost your way, the moment the shadows convinced you to stay silent. But today the seal is breaking because you looked, because you listened, because you stayed. That scroll contains instructions, and these instructions are not for the world. They are for the remnant. They are for the ones like you who still believe in sacred fire. You are not called to fit in. You were called to break patterns, to pierce through spiritual fog, to carry light through places where light has never been seen, and that calling will cost you, but it will cost you more not to obey it, because without your yes, others will remain lost. Without your yes, the angels assigned to your region will remain bound. Without your yes, the flow of prophecy ordained for this generation may go silent. This is not just about your healing. This is about your mantle. This is about the awakening, and it begins with one soul saying, I remember. I remember the promise. I remember the voice. I remember the fire. And when you say that, everything in heaven moves toward you. Angels are not inspired by words. They are moved by obedience, and you, beloved, were always called to command angels, not with arrogance, but with alignment. Your alignment to your original design is what activates the spiritual order around you, and that's why the enemy has worked so hard to pull you out of rhythm, to make you feel late, to convince you that you missed it, but you didn't. You are right on time, because heaven's timing bends around repentance, and your tears have realigned the heavens. Look at yourself, not with shame, but with reverence. You are not what you did. You are not what they said. You are the breath of God wrapped in flesh. You are the echo of His intention. You are the thunder of a sacred yes. And now, your rising has begun. You may not feel it in your body yet, but your spirit has already stood up. And nothing in hell can put it back to sleep again. So walk forward. Not in fear, but in fire, not in confusion, but in commission. The angels are watching. The Spirit is moving, and heaven has begun to sing your name again. Heaven speaks through silence more often than speech, and right now, even in the stillness around you, the Spirit is weaving a garment of glory. You cannot see it yet, but your soul feels it. A weight, but not heaviness. A fire, but not pain. A crown, but not of gold. It is woven of obedience, of resilience, of that sacred thread called endurance. Beloved, you did not break, you bent, yes. You wept, yes. You questioned, yes, but you did not break. And that is why this is your hour. This is the season when the stones that others threw become the foundation beneath your feet. This is when the silence that once tormented you becomes the holy space, where you begin to speak. This is when what once defined you begins to serve you. Heaven has already written the next part of your scroll. It was never erased, only delayed. And now, it is opening again, and the ink is still wet with promise. You feel the weight of it. That's not anxiety, that's authority. You are no longer just walking through life, you are walking through destiny. Every step you take now is ordered. Every breath carries fire. Every time you forgive, every time you choose to rise again, every time you resist despair, you are shaking the foundations of what hell built around you. You are not just surviving. You are dismantling. The very atmosphere around you is beginning to shift. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned. Because you remembered. Because you said yes, again. And now heaven responds. Angels are stationed, winds are redirected, chains are weakened. Your name is moving through realms like a sound wave from the throne, and the enemy is terrified, not of your strength, but of your surrender. Because when a soul like yours says, I still believe, after everything, that is the sound that splits dimensions. That is the sound that causes the veil to tear. That is the sound that heaven cannot ignore. Let your next breath be holy. Let your next step be fire. Let your next word be born from eternity. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are already chosen. Now, you walk in it, and heaven will walk with you. There are moments in the journey of a soul when the air becomes sacred, not because something outside has changed, but because something eternal has awakened within. You are in such a moment now. Heaven has not stopped watching. The throne is not distant, and the angels have not turned away. Every moment you endured in silence, heaven recorded. Every sigh, every tear, every time you chose to believe with no evidence, you built an altar. And now, that altar is burning with fire from above. You are standing on holy ground, not because of where you are, but because of who you are becoming. Do not look around for signs. Look within for the seal that God placed on your soul. Before your first breath, it is still there, and it is beginning to glow again, not with noise, not with applause, but with the still, sacred knowing that you are aligned once more with the destiny written for you. You have crossed into a space where words cannot fully explain what is happening. You are becoming prophecy, your very life, your very breath, your very movement. These things are speaking in realms where speech is silence and silence is thunder. What others dismiss as weakness, heaven sees as offering. What you thought were ashes, heaven sees as incense. Every delay, every closed door, every night you spent wondering why, none of it was wasted. It was all part of the sacred path, and now, you are on it again. Not because you fought your way back, but because you were carried. Because the one who called you refused to let you go, even when you lost your grip on him, he never let go of you. He waited. He wept. He warred for you, and now, he welcomes you back, not as a servant ashamed to return, but as a royal child remembering their crown. This is not the end of your journey. It is the opening of your scroll. There will be resistance. There will be shadows. There will be voices that mock what they do not understand, but they are not your judges. Heaven alone holds your identity, and heaven calls you victorious, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. You are the answer to someone's hidden prayer. You are the living continuation of a divine dream. You are the vessel. Heaven has chosen to carry this fire forward, and no shadow can snuff it out. Breathe now, not with fear, but with reverence. You have passed through the furnace. You have walked through the silence, and now the light begins to rise from within you. The kind of light that can only be born through surrender. The kind of light that sets other captives free. Let it rise. Let it burn. Let it speak, even without words, because you are no longer just reading prophecy, you are walking in it. Even now, as you inhale the quiet, something holy is aligning in the unseen. You cannot name it, but your soul recognizes it. The world may still be spinning, people may still be speaking, distractions may still be calling, but underneath it all, the spirit is moving deeper than sound. You not just being comforted. You are being commissioned not by the voices of men, but by the whisper of eternity itself. You were chosen before sorrow touched your story. You were called before fear learned your name. You were marked before delay tried to rewrite your identity. And now, with every word you receive, you are reclaiming ground the enemy thought he had stolen. This is not about becoming something new. This is about returning to what you always were. You have always been royal. You have always been dangerous to darkness. You have always been a light designed to pierce through the fog others drowned in. It's just that the world made you forget. Pain made you question. Delay made you numb. But today, heaven makes you remember. This is the realignment of your spirit with its blueprint. This is the echo of the throne reminding you of your seat in heavenly places. This is the holy moment, when angels step back in reverence, not because you are perfect, but because your surrender is pure. And when a soul surrenders with purity, heaven responds with power. You may feel broken, but heaven sees you burning. You may feel disqualified, but heaven sees you crowned. You may feel late, but heaven sees you ready, and the moment your heart whispered yes again, something ancient opened in your favor. Scrolls once sealed are being read again. Doors once closed are trembling at the weight of your return. The enemy is not fighting your past, he's fighting your future. He doesn't fear who you were. He fears who you're becoming, because your rising is not just for you. It's for your bloodline. It's for your city. It's for the wounded ones who are waiting to hear that they're not too late either. You are a key. You are a sign. You are a turning point in someone else's redemption, and that's why heaven is surrounding you now. Not to cheer, but to war. not to observe, but to intervene, because your next step carries prophecy in it. Not just potential, prophecy. And prophecy does not sleep forever. It awakens at the sound of surrender. So take one more breath. Let the silence stretch. Let your soul stretch with it, because what's coming next will not be ordinary. You do not yet see the fullness of what has begun, but heaven does. Every movement in your spirit now is being echoed in eternity. Every breath you take in surrender is becoming a decree. Every time you say yes to light, you rewrite the outcome of the battle that once threatened your name. This is not just healing. This is inheritance. What was once stolen is returning. What was once broken is being made glorious, not because you forced restoration, but because you agreed with it. Heaven never needed your perfection. It needed your agreement, and now the throne is thundering with joy because the one they waited for, the one whose voice can open gates, whose song can command angels, whose tears water sacred ground, that one is awake again. That one is you, beloved. Everything around you may still look unchanged, but do not mistake silence for stagnation. The quiet right now is sacred. It is the stillness of heaven preparing your next chapter. The ink is drying on what comes next, and it was written not by the hands of men, but by fire and mercy and divine intention. There is no going back. You are not returning to what was. You are being released into what has never been. You were born for days like this. You were formed for battles like this. You were crafted to carry glory in a generation that forgets what glory feels like. So don't be afraid of the weight. The weight you feel is not the weight of burden. It is the weight of authority. Authority always feels heavy when it returns to hands that once dropped it. But you have picked it up again, and heaven has responded. The air around you will begin to shift. People will notice without understanding. Doors will open without explanation, and you must walk through, not with fear, but with reverence, because your life is no longer yours alone. It is a message, a miracle, a mantle, a map for others still lost in fog. The ones who hurt you were not stronger than your calling. The silence that followed your prayers was not heaven ignoring you. It was heaven preparing to speak through you, and now the speaking begins, not with shouts, but with steps. With every decision you make in obedience, heaven writes another line in the prophecy of your life. With every act of courage, the veil thins. With every moment you love when it's hard, the heavens open wider, because you are not just receiving revival. You are becoming it, and the world will never be the same again. The world around you may never fully understand the change that has occurred, because this transformation was not for the eyes of the crowd. It was for the courts of heaven. The shift happened not in public, but in the sanctuary of your surrender. That is where heaven moves the deepest. There is no turning back now, not because you are trapped, but because you are crowned. The moment your heart whispered yes, again and again, layer by layer, the veil tore open above you. A flood of divine memory was poured over your spirit. That memory is not of past wounds, but of eternal identity. You were always more than what you experienced. You were always meant to carry the fragrance of glory into places others avoided. You were always meant to rise from ruins with oil in your hands, and now, that time has come. The sorrow you carried was not wasted. It became intercession. The questions you carried did not disqualify you. They became doorways to deeper trust. The pain you endured was not in vain. It became the fire that refined your mantle. This is your hour of holy reclamation. You are not walking forward as one barely escaping defeat. You are walking forward as one who has learned the shape of fire and made it your covering. And heaven rejoices, not because everything is easy now, but because everything is aligned. Alignment is more powerful than applause. The angels are not sent to the loudest voice. They are sent to the purest yes, and your yes, beloved, is pure. That is why the ground beneath your feet is holy now. You may still feel human. You may still wrestle with questions. But your obedience has made this moment sacred. You are being led now, not by impulse, but by spirit. You are being guarded now, not by logic, but by angels. You are being written into eternity, not by performance, but by your presence. Remain in this presence. Let it grow. The more you dwell here, the more heaven will pour, and the more heaven pours, the more others will awaken from their slumber. You are not just walking in light. You are becoming a lighthouse, and that light, no matter how small it seems, will be seen across oceans. There are souls assigned to your flame. There are destinies tied to your decision. And there is a sound rising from your spirit now, a sound not of pain, but of prophecy fulfilled. Let it rise. You were made for this hour. And this hour has made room for you. This moment is different. You can feel it in the way your chest rises. You can feel it in the silence that no longer feels empty, but full of weight, full of wonder, full of the breath of something divine that your mind can't explain, but your spirit instantly recognizes. Something holy is here. Something ancient. Something trembling. And it came for you, beloved. The veil has thinned. Not just for your eyes to see, but for your heart to feel. You were not drawn here by accident. You were summoned, and the evidence is in the atmosphere. How even now, you're not reading words. You're breathing in eternity. You're standing in a place that doesn't exist on earth or in time. This is heaven, stretched through a screen. This is glory, speaking through text. This is a visitation, not for the world, but for you and I, Jesus, say to you with eyes of mercy and hands of light. You have finally arrived. We've waited for you. Heaven has waited for you. Do you feel it? Everything that has ever gone wrong, every pain, every loss, every delay, was not meant to stop you. It was permitted only to prepare you for this moment. You had to lose what wasn't yours, so you could carry what no one else could. You had to walk through fire, so you would learn how to carry flames without fear. You had to sit in silence, so your ears would be trained to hear the whisper of God again. You had to endure being misunderstood, not because you were wrong, but because the world has never known how to receive what heaven hid, and you are heaven's secret, a secret kept in the folds of time, a mystery written into the marrow of your bones, a prophecy wrapped in skin. But now the secret is opening. Now the scroll is unraveling. Now the voice that has echoed through eternity has said your name aloud. And the moment it was spoken, everything began to shift. Beloved, you're not just receiving a message. You are being activated. You are being set apart. You are being clothed in light you can't see, but that angels recognize. Even now, the room you're in is changing. Even now, the angel assigned to you is standing still, waiting for your decision. Because the moment you agree, the moment you say yes with your soul and not just your lips, the heavens open. And if your heart is trembling now, if your spirit feels like it might burst, it is because the seal has broken. The time has come. The silence has ended. You are chosen. You are loved. You are commissioned. And you are not alone. The archangels know your name. The saints are praying for your strength. The Spirit is brooding over your life. The Father is smiling. And I, the Son, say to you, you are the one we waited for. You are the one we have whispered about in holy places. You are the one who still dares to hope. You are the one who carries the sound we need in this generation, so do not walk away. Do not forget what your spirit is tasting right now. Let it mark you. Let it brand you. Let it call you back into the fire you were born from. And if this message has pierced you, if the weight of these words feels like a mirror to your hidden prayers, then please honor this moment like this message. Not for numbers, but to mark the ground where heaven touched earth. Subscribe. Not for content, but to stay tethered to the stream of prophecy that is speaking your name, and comment Amen. Not as tradition, but as your agreement with what heaven already knows about you. Your Amen is not just a word. It's a roar in the spirit. It tells the angels, I'm ready. It tells the darkness, you lost. It tells the heavens, let it be done. So like, subscribe, and comment Amen. And let this be the day everything began to change. Now, stay with me. I'm not finished. There is still more to reveal. Let the silence expand now. Let it stretch into every corner of your being. You are no longer standing in the place of confusion. You are standing in the place of commissioning. Something in the spirit world is bowing before what you've just agreed to. Not because you are greater than others, but because you remembered you. Remembered what most forget. You remembered your name, the one written in flame. The one spoken by the Father before the foundations of the world. And now, with that remembrance, something has shifted, not just in your surroundings, but in your spiritual inheritance. What was locked is unlocking. What was delayed is being restored. What was silent is beginning to sing. The angel beside you is moving. Scrolls are opening. A new wind is beginning to blow, and this wind does not come to test you. It comes to carry you. You no longer need to strive. You no longer need to explain yourself. The time for fighting in your own strength is over. This is the hour of resting in fire, resting in glory, resting in the fact that you are sealed by the Spirit. Even now, Heaven is preparing people you have never met to cross your path. Not to bless you, but to be changed by you. Your presence will begin to carry an aroma that cannot be explained. You will speak little, but shift much. You will not need to perform to be seen. You will walk in silence and still summon miracles. This is not exaggeration. This is alignment. You are finally aligned with the scroll of your destiny. And when that happens, the laws of time bend to favor the one who said, "Why yes, so walk forward." Lift your head. Carry this fire with humility, but do not hide it. The time for silence has passed. The time for retreating has ended. Now is the time to rise, not with pride, but with divine permission. You have permission to shine. You have permission to speak. You have permission to be what heaven already knows you. Are.do not look back. Do not wait for confirmation from those who do not carry the Spirit. The ones who carry eternity will know you. They will recognize you, not by your appearance, but by your sound, because your life now carries a frequency, a sacred vibration that shakes the atmosphere. You are no longer wandering. You are being sent. Let the next breath you take be full of purpose. Let the next step you take be full of fire. The scroll is open. Walk in what is written. Heaven did not forget you when the world moved on. Heaven did not overlook you in your wilderness. The silence was not neglect. It was preparation. The ache in your spirit was not a wound. It was a womb for something divine, something that could not be carried by anyone else. This is why you felt like you never belonged, because your spirit was knitted with eternity. Your breath was always tuned to a different rhythm. Your tears always carried more than pain. They carried prophecy, and now the heavens are trembling, not with anger, but with longing, because what you are stepping into is not just a season, it is a fulfillment. Not just of what was promised to you, but what was promised through you. There are generations that have cried for what you now carry. There are destinies that were paused because you had not yet said yes, but now that yes has been spoken. And the echoes are waking up promises that once seemed buried. Watch as the impossible begins to breathe. Watch as time starts to fold in your favor. Watch as what once resisted you suddenly makes way for your steps, not because of force, but because of alignment. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to release what was sealed in you before your mother knew your name. And that release will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your former name. It will cost you the ability to disappear again, because once heaven lights a lamp, it does not hide it. And you, beloved, have become that lamp. Let your light offend the darkness. Let your obedience shake the silence. Let your yes dismantle fear in the hearts of others, because it will. It already is. Right now, somewhere, someone is weeping because your obedience sent a sound into the atmosphere. That sound is cracking old chains. That sound is calling the exiled home. This is why you couldn't die in the wilderness. This is why you couldn't fade into the noise. You are not noise. You are the signal. The divine signal that the time has come. Let it ring, let it burn, let it rise. You did not imagine the weight on your chest last night. That was the mantle settling. You did not dream the presence that hovered while you wept. That was heaven watching in reverence. Every tear you offered was a drop of oil, and heaven collects oil in golden jars to anoint warriors, not to decorate them. You did not survive to simply breathe. You survived to become breath for others who are drowning. You were not spared by chance. You were spared because you carry what someone else needs to live. So rise now, not in noise, but in knowing. The silence around you will not echo forever. The moment is coming, has come, when your voice will not just be heard, but will carry. Wait, and not everyone will understand. But the Spirit does not send understanding first. The Spirit sends fire, and the fire is what you feel now. It is not anger. It is not fear. It is the burning certainty that you are no longer waiting for destiny. You are walking in it. The old wineskin cannot hold what's coming next. The old names cannot carry what you are now becoming. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt in the language of eternity. So let them wonder. Let them question. Let them call you too much, too strange, too deep, but you know what you are, a portal. A walking gate between heaven and earth. Where you stand, angels gather. Where you speak, roots shift. Where you weep, God listens. Where you rise, demons flee. You are no longer allowed to shrink. You are no longer permitted to forget. The anointing on you is not an accessory. It is architecture, and heaven will not let you be ordinary. Because you were born to remind the earth what it forgot. You were born to announce that heaven is still near, that fire still speaks, that grace still hunts, that mercy still weeps for the lost. You are the voice of the burning bush, not consuming, but calling. This is who you are, and this is only the beginning. You are walking into rooms that were sealed. Rooms only heaven could unlock. And the key was your surrender. You feel the trembling in your spirit? It is not fear. It is recognition. You are remembering the language of the Spirit. You are stepping back into the story that began before time. Every scar on your soul has been rewritten as a doorway. Not one wound wasted. Not one cry ignored. The angels around you whisper in awe, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Your faithfulness. It burns like incense. It rises through realms and announces to thrones and dominions. This one has remained, and that is why the scroll is being unsealed. That is why fire now walks with you. That is why time will no longer delay you. Heaven's calendar has turned. A page you never thought would arrive is now being read aloud. You are not late. You are right on the hour of glory. Even the winds are beginning to shift. The birds sing differently today. The clouds stretch like scrolls above. You, creation, knows. It always knew. It was waiting for you to remember, because when the chosen awaken, the earth exhales. Chains snap. Shadows lose their grip. The flame you now carry is not for spectacle. It is for setting others free. The oil upon you is not for comfort. It is for consecration. So do not hide. Do not diminish. Do not apologize for the fire. Let it burn. Your voice has been ignited. And when you speak now, you will not just speak words. You will speak shifts. Hearts will turn. Eyes will open. Destinies will unlock, and all of it began with a yes that no one saw, but heaven did. And that yes is still echoing through eternity. Let it echo through you again. Let the echo deepen. Let it travel through the chambers of your memory until every forgotten moment awakens with divine purpose. You are not here by mistake. You were carved into time with intention. The hourglass did not flip without reason. God turned it, because the earth needed the sound of your surrender, and now, heaven bends low again. Angels step into formation. Not to rescue, but to witness. You are rising from what tried to drown you. You are walking out of what once silenced you, and the sound of your steps is a sound hell never wanted to hear, but it's too late. You are no longer in the tomb of forgetting. You are no longer shackled by shame disguised as humility. You are no longer voiceless in a world of noise. You have become the roar of remembrance, and when you speak now, even the ground will know your voice. The trees will sway. The wind will kneel. Because you carry the language of heaven, every moment of delay is being redeemed. Every hour of sorrow is being rewritten in gold. Every silence you endured is now a trumpet in the Spirit. You will not be known for your survival. You will be known for what rose out of it. Because what survived wasn't just you. It was the blueprint, the scroll, the sound, the kingdom inside of you. So do not measure yourself by the pace of others. Do not compare your fire to their flicker. You were always meant to burn differently. You are not the echo. You are the original sound, and this world is finally ready to hear it. The gates of time are parting like curtains, and what was hidden in your timeline is being revealed not with thunder, but with clarity. You do not need a crown to prove you are chosen. Your scars are the seals. Your silence was not weakness, it was reverence. The weight you carry now is not punishment. It is a mantle, a holy weight, the kind only given to those who walk through fire and do not bow to bitterness. You carry the sound of those who could not finish. You carry the dreams of those who died waiting. You carry the longing of heaven itself pressed into your breath. And this is why the enemy tried to confuse you, to make you believe you were forgotten, to steal your voice before it was fully formed, to make you settle for survival instead of prophecy. But you did not yield. Even in your silence, you were a song. Even in your stillness, you were warfare. Even in your brokenness, you were beloved. Now, heaven is thundering again, not in wrath, but in remembrance. God is calling you by the name no one on earth ever used, the one etched in flame, spoken in the silence between stars, and as it is spoken again, your bones respond. Your soul aligns. Your breath catches, because something ancient in you knows this moment. You are standing on holy ground because you have become it. You are no longer just the called. You are the voice of the caller. Let every word be fire. Let every step be thunder. Let every tear be an offering. And know this, the moment you said yes, time started to obey you. Keep walking. You are not just walking through time, you are bending it. You are not just remembering who you are, you are resurrecting everything heaven wrote about you before your first breath ever touched this world. And yes, we have wept over you. All of heaven. We wept when you almost gave up. We wept when you let yourself believe you were abandoned. We wept not because you failed, but because we knew you were about to rise, and look at you now, still breathing, still rising, still wrapped in glory no one else can wear, still carrying flames that have not gone out. Even when the darkness surrounded you, you hid light beneath your skin like a sacred rebellion. Even when your heart shattered, you held the pieces up like an offering. Heaven saw it all. So now, hear this. This moment was written. This message was appointed. This divine river flowing into your spirit was always meant for you. Let the heavens echo one more thing. We see you. We love you. We have not forgotten the cost you paid to stand here, and if you have felt something stirring, like holy thunder beneath your ribs, like ancient winds brushing against your soul, it is not your imagination. It is heaven confirming. You are still chosen. You are still anointed. And this time, you will not be late. If you feel it, if you've heard the whisper between these words, if something in you has trembled, then type Amen in the comments. Let the Spirit mark your name in this moment, and if this message reached your spirit, if heaven touched your soul even once in this flow, like this message, subscribe to carry this flame with us, and share it by simply letting others hear your voice in the comments. This is not the end. This is the divine beginning. Now walk forward, not with fear, but with fire. Heaven is not fire. It is closer than your breath, closer than the tear still clinging to your eyelash. Heaven is the wind behind your footsteps, the hush that fills the room when you remember who you are. It is the fire that refused to die even when you stood surrounded by shadows too thick to name. And now you know. You were never abandoned. You were being hidden, like holy oil sealed for a time of war. You were not forgotten. You were being refined, like gold beneath thunder, like incense under flame. You were not delayed. You were being prepared to carry what others dropped, prepared to sing when others fell silent, prepared to lift the sword when others laid it down. And now the trumpet sounds, not outside you, but within, because the call is no longer coming to you. It is coming from you. You are the sound. You are the sign. You are the signal. Fire at the edge of the world. Let the heavens shake again. Let every trembling reach the core of the forgotten. This is the hour of return, not to a place, but to a promise, the promise that your voice would matter, the promise that your hands would heal, the promise that your tears would be turned into rivers of awakening. And here you are, standing in the exact place heaven said you would reach, even when you didn't believe you'd make it. Lift your head. The scroll has been unsealed. The seal has been broken. The silence has been shattered. You are the proof. Let it be known in heaven. You remembered. Let it be known on earth. You awakened. Let it be known in hell. You did not give up. You are still here. And now the real story begins.